This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
Today's video is brought to you by Sheath. In just a moment, I'm going to talk about an offer exclusive to you and my audience that I really believe will benefit you, just as it has me. Before I get to that, though, let's talk about Tucker Carlson. Actually, a couple times today, I'm going to talk about Tucker Carlson and guests he had on last night. The first being Madison Cawthorn. The phrase irony is dead is something I've been saying for a long time because Republicans have become projection artists. And in the clip I'm going to play, you'll hear Tucker Carlson say, apparently irony is dead. But it is truly the death of irony when you have a guest on to complain about the destruction of American democracy, complain that he may be removed from the ballot because of his involvement, alleged involvement, in an insurrection against the United States government. A failed coup attempt. An attempt to subvert our democracy. A failed attempt to overturn a free and fair and settled American election. The temerity of these goons to go on the air and complain that, hey, I tried to overthrow the democracy and now they're trying to take me off the ballot. This is anti-democratic. It is alarmingly cynical. And it tells you just how little they think about the intellectual capabilities of their audience and their base. I'm going to get to the clip and we're going to break it down. Before I do, a word from today's sponsor, Sheath.
Look, I'm a big guy. I work in the studio all day that's filled with lights and electronics, and all that tech can really crank up the heat, leaving me pretty uncomfortable. And I'm not just talking about the parts of me that you can see above the desk. Thankfully, there's Sheath underwear. Sheath makes boxers scientifically engineered to keep some parts from sticking to your other parts. Sheath were invented by a U.S. Army veteran serving a tour in Iraq, and as a former Marine who spent some time in similar climes and places, I can clearly see where the inspiration comes from. These boxers have 3 separate compartments to keep, again, your parts partitioned and protected. Chafage got you down? Do you routinely find that your D is getting stuck to your B's? Get yourself immediately over to sheathunderwear.com/Dollemore to score 20% off the future of underwear. Being 6'3", I have always had trouble finding boxers that fit well because my quads tend to make them ride up and bunch. Not so with Sheath. Their slightly longer 8-inch boxers are my favorites and are a perfect fit that give me zero trouble. Seriously, don't your parts deserve a break from your other parts? Head to sheathunderwear.com/Dollemore or click the link in the description below for 20% off right now. You'll be thanking me and your parts will be thanking you.
So let's get to the clip. And seriously, brace yourself. If you're not seated, take a seat. Get a beverage. Get a little snack. Because you're in for something pretty ridiculous.
Now, we're hearing a lot about democracy under attack. Well, democracy is a system under which you get to vote for whomever you want because it's your country. You're a citizen. The people rule. But Democrats are working, and they're effectively working, to subvert the most basic element of democracy, which is your right to vote for whomever you want. Madison Cawthorn is a congressman from North Carolina, and he's seeing this up close. Activists are trying to get the state's election board to keep him off the ballot in this fall's election. So you can't vote for him, ending democracy. A group called For the People, because irony is not dead, is trying to do this. They're alleging that, quote, Cawthorn is constitutionally disqualified from public office under the 14th Amendment to the Constitution based on reasonable suspicion that he's helped facilitate the January 6, 2021 insurrection. In other words, he's like a Confederate general. He's like a foreign adversary. That's what they're arguing. And they may win. And so we want to talk to Madison Cawthorn directly tonight to hear where this all stands. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. I can't think of a clearer assault on democracy itself than preventing voters from voting for the candidate of their choice. How close are they to preventing you from running for office?
Tucker, they are actually very close. Now, what's going on in North Carolina is that the State Board of Election, a panel of 5 people, is asserting that they have the ability to bar 740,000 plus Americans in my district from being able to elect me to send me to Washington to be their weapon to fight against the deep state. Why they're saying that this is a viable choice in North Carolina is because of the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. I'm sure that you were puzzled by, as I was, after following January 6th when they started saying that we are insurrectionists, you're seditionists, you're traitors. I thought they were just trying to get a flashy headline. But the reason they were trying to set this basis for fact is because they had a plan to execute a version of lawfare, hatched, I'm sure, by Mark Elias, the quarterback for hijacking our election in 2020, to try and actually bar America First candidates from being able to hold office in 2022. Now, is the reason they tried to set the stage because they knew that their geriatric despot, Joe Biden, was going to be so bad and the midterms were going to be a slashing? I don't know. But what's going on here is that they are actually very close to being able to subvert the will of over 700,000 Americans. And make no mistake, Tucker, this is not just about a 26-year-old from Western North Carolina in a wheelchair. This is about the future of our very nation. If they're able to set this precedent in North Carolina, they will be able to keep anybody who had valid and legitimate concerns about what happened in the 2020 election from being able to ever hold office, thus ending the America First movement.
I think your analysis is so smart. You're exactly right.
Apparently, irony is dead. Look, let's read through the 14th Amendment, among other things, that gives equal protection under the law. Section 3 of the 14th Amendment reads, "No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of vice president or president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States, or as a member of any state legislature, or as an executive or judicial officer of any state, to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress shall make a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability." It seems clear-cut. It seems that there is a case to be made constitutionally. Listen, these clowns wave their constitutions and prattle on about the rule of law, and then when the rule of law is attempted to be applied to them, oh, this is anti-democratic, y'all. It is, I mean, the old adage that if it wasn't so sad and alarming, it would be funny, applies here. Because Madison Cawthorn, as Tucker Carlson jokingly put it, that he's some kind of Confederate general or foreign adversary, he is an adversary, but not a foreign one. A domestic adversary. A domestic adversary who promoted domestic terrorism against this nation. A concerted attempt to subvert our democracy, and now he sits there whining that the democratic process is working. That they're trying to take away the vote from 750,000, blah, 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 blah. You attempted to overthrow the government, Madison Cawthorn. Gross. And Tucker runs away with it. Tucker, the defender of white supremacy in America. Tucker, the defender of foreign thugs like Vladimir Putin. This is what we're up against. I hope that the constant ringing in your ear of people sounding the alarm doesn't get old and doesn't make you tired. because we have a fight on our hands for the very existence of our democracy. And they may downplay it on the Fox News. They may downplay it on Newsmax and OAN, but it is very real. We're witnessing it on live television each and every night. Are you in for the fight? Do you have the stomach to save, to preserve what we have? Call and let me know. I'd love to hear from you. You could leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. Follow me on social media. I'd love to hear from you. I'm at Dollemore just about everywhere. And if I bring you some value on a day-to-day basis, please consider supporting my work, helping produce my work right here on YouTube. You can click the join button below this video, see what's involved to become a channel member. For as little as $1.99 a month, you can become a channel member. Or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Both those are great ways to help support and produce what I do here, and I would appreciate you considering it. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.